Hey everyone, it's Claire, and I'm here with Villforth, aka Janine. She's a singer here in Berlin, and she's going to give us a local musician's guide to the city.
I'm working on my foreign voice.
So your name is Janine, but you go by Villforth. You were born in Cologne, which, if some of you don't know, is in the west part of Germany. And if you did know that, good job. And you moved to Berlin when you were a kid. So did you start making music when you were in Cologne, or did that not happen until you were already in Berlin?
I actually took piano lessons when I was, 5, really, really young, but just for about a year or two. And then we moved to Berlin and I went to school, and over that whole hassle I didn't really have any lessons again.
How do you feel that Berlin has affected your artistry? I mean, you've been here for so long, since you were a kid. Do you think that move was a factor in finding music, or not so much?
No, definitely. I always talk about that to my mom actually, because we had the option to either go to Berlin or to Munich. And I don't think I would have started playing music if I would have been in Munich, just because of the events that also happened to me, both negative and positive, but it's it happened here, and that's also what got me into playing music. Also the community over here really pushed me, because it's so great that there's so many people who just support you, and even if you're too shy to sing, which was the case with me when I was a teenager, I was still through the internet, by being anonymous, I was so encouraged that I could just still reach out to people. And I get myself to places and then actually meet people who would also sing. And that really gave me so much confidence. So I think in a direct and an indirect way, Berlin has reshaped my music.
So you sing exclusively in English, even though your first language is German. Is there a reason for that, and have you considered singing in German?
The thing is, I feel I've always been into the English language. I really, really like it. In high school, I even took English intense courses and had friends who would just speak English, and I just loved the language. And I'd always listen to English music as well. I mean, there's definitely some great German artists out there, but to me, it's so strange. Even though German is my native and my mother language, I still feel to me English feels more personal. A lot of people in the music industry would ask you to change to German, which I completely understand. It's just easier, I guess, and it's also a lot of people would understand it better and
to reach the German market.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, we're in Germany, so it's just the easiest to reach the German market, which is also possible with English music, but just harder because most people would just want to have something that catches them on the on the spot. My problem is, if I start writing a song in German, that wouldn't be the style that I want to write in German.
It doesn't sound like you.
Not at all. People can hear it as well. I might have a slight accent when I'm speaking English, but when I sing, people have always told me that they can't hear it.
I know.
So I'm also well, if you can't really hear it when I'm singing, and I love it, so why would I change it?
Absolutely.
English as well is such a chance that you can always communicate with people all around the world. It's just a international language.
I think it's so fascinating, and that's why it's one of the things I'm curious about in this series is language and music as its kind of its own language.
Don't say I made you cry when you're the one who said goodbye.
Okay, so here we are at one of the venues that I'd like to show you guys today. It's called Prachtwerk, and it's a really lovely venue for having a coffee with your friends, going here for an open stage, or playing yourself, or just having your own gig.
Don't beg for one more try when I'm the one who's spending nights getting over you.
So when did you first come here, and how did you find this place?
I've actually found this place some years ago, and I don't really remember who showed it to me, but I just got to know it as a normal cafe, and only then I found out that there's this huge stage. I've been to many open stages, and to me this one has always been the most, not high quality one, but the best one, where I just feel the artists are very talented and they're very broad, so there's people from everywhere, you hear different kinds of music, and the crowd as well. The crowd is like super nice and the sound is amazing. I feel like most open stages in Berlin have like a very international touch. Like I've seen, I don't know, like a person playing the harp from Japan and different places as well. Sometimes you actually see the same faces at different open stages because it's like a community. People are very, I guess, thankful for you playing, and that's always nice to see.
Yeah, that was something that I definitely noticed when I first played here in 2017, not here, but in Berlin. And I just thought it was so interesting that audiences really cared to listen. Obviously there are great audiences in New York as well, but I think that it's tricky because there are so many open mic nights in New York. I mean, there's just so many musicians, and it's great because it's a huge city, and so there's a huge music scene. But I think that there's something about Berlin audiences that I've noticed, and it seems like maybe you've had the same experience, where people come to see music because they really want to see music.
I love being here in the evening just for shows. They have a very broad spectrum of shows as well. Like many people that I study with who play music actually have been here and have been playing live, and I didn't even know they knew the place, so it's kind of also like spreading. Like people get to know over friends that this is a cool place to have a gig at. I feel like I always saw familiar faces.
Is that sense of community something that's particularly big here, or is it something that you've experienced throughout the Berlin music scene?
I personally think that this is something that you can find in Berlin in general, just that, I mean, I guess people always expect, and I mean, I was born in Cologne, so I too feel like sometimes people might have that prejudice that Berlin people are kind of rough, but I don't really get that sense when it's about music. When people bond with you and they know you're also doing music, they're always welcome.
It's funny what you said about, you know, the sort of Berlin stereotype, because it's totally the same in New York. Because everyone says New Yorkers are so mean, and they're you know, they get annoyed at tourists, and it is the same thing where if you're walking slow in front of me, I am gonna probably passive aggressively walk faster than you. People, especially artists, I mean, it's such a hard career path to go down. People want to support other artists because we need the support too.
Definitely.
So I know you played here a couple times when you were a bit younger. Do you think that it's a particularly good venue for people who are just starting out with music?
I would definitely say so, because I feel like it's just a great opportunity that you have the chance or the choice even to go open stage first. I mean, I've started off playing just open stages because I feel like that's the best way to do it, because no one's really judging you, and at the same time you still get some like honest feedback from people. And you're not the only one starting off. The amazing thing here is that once you've played maybe some open stages and they know you better, or you just like, even in the beginning you're already like, I love it here, can I play my own show? It's possible. It's not like out of reach like it might be in other places where you can just play an open stage.
I think that's so great, because I also started out at open mic nights when I was 16, 17. That was really the only place I could play. I don't know, I felt like I wasn't able to get a show, like a real gig yet. But it was different though, because I would play these open mic nights, but there was no option to then book a show. I mean, maybe you could be a featured artist at an open mic, but it was definitely a very separate thing. So I think it's so cool that here you can really, there's a ladder that you can kind of climb.
It's more fluid. It's not like, it's not possible. Once you've played a gig over here and you meet people, you have basically gained a new community, and these people will also come to your other gigs, and you'll definitely see those faces again.
Well, thank you guys so much for letting us come and learn a little bit about the space here. It's such a cool venue. If you guys want to just introduce yourselves and tell everybody a little bit about you and your music and your work here, that'd be great.
Hey, I'm Kelsey Brae, and I have been living in Berlin since almost 5 years.
Wow.
And I've been here at Prachtwerk Berlin for almost that amount of time, helping Ben run the open stage every Wednesday, and then also helping with other concerts that we have here. And I play I guess you could say indie dream pop.
Love it.
Yeah, so I've got a synthesizer, I play the backing tracks, also mix in the ukulele every now and then, so it's kind of an interesting combination of sorts.
My name is Ben, and I've been in Berlin for just about 14 years. I started the open stage here at Prachtwerk, and it's been running for about 4 or 5 years. I play in a small indie folk band called Roemer, which is just my middle name.
Can you guys talk a little bit about the open stage here and what makes this sort of a unique location in Berlin?
Open stage in general is nothing new to Berlin, especially
Right.
to the music scene. It's been here. Berlin has always been kind of a music city, especially when you go back towards the 20s. There's been a huge influence of jazz, and then in more recent decades, in terms of electronic music. So the notion was we wanted to organize something that people would feel comfortable coming to, that audience would kind of know that this is a good show, but also that the artists would know that this is a place that understands them and understands their needs.
Yeah, I would say the feedback that I've gotten from the artists, they typically point out 3 things that make this open stage unique. And the first one is the meeting that we have before the open stage, just to meet all the people and recognize faces and see like who's playing. The second thing would be the sound. The quality of the sound is just as good as a normal concert here, which is amazing. We have monitors so you can hear yourself on the stage, which not every open stage
You do not
offers.
always get that, no.
So they're always blown away by the sound and the sound technicians. And then the third thing that they would say is the crowd. We have tried really hard to create an environment where people listen, and so and we make sure that happens. So those are, I think, why that makes this space unique. I would say that most of the musicians that I know in the city have come through the open stage here at least once. So it's like a great networking opportunity, and not just networking, but like friendships. You know?
Genuine connection.
Yeah, exactly. Not just here within the people who are playing open stage, but also connecting with the audience member. Because we have people that come week after week, you know, and so they have their favorites and they're able to connect with the people that play here, which is really awesome. Hey, so the open stage at Prachtwerk Berlin is every Wednesday, and we would love to have you.
Signing up is pretty simple. You can actually just follow the link in the description underneath this video, or write us an email at openstage@prachtwerkberlin.com.
Push for reactions just to see if I care. It must be hard to be alone in your head now. It's bittersweet to see you lost in despair. Does you feel like the thrill is gone?
So we're here at Noisy Rooms in Berlin at Warschauer Straße. It's very obvious that we're in a rehearsal room of theirs. It's one of the many options in the city, and I think it's just really nice. It actually got renovated some time ago, and it looks super nice. It's very clean. It has great
They have nice rugs.
Yeah, they have amazing rugs. Like, I love those Persian carpets.
So you said it's not that easy sometimes to find rehearsal space in Berlin. Why is that, do you think?
I think it's because there's so many musicians, and that's amazing, but also on another side that's kind of problematic. If you're part of like musicians groups on Facebook, or you know people from, I don't know, university or other musicians, it's super possible to get something, but it's more like a connection thing. It's just like with flats at the moment. Someone would
With
say
finding
like,
apartments,
yeah, obviously it's not for free to be here and rehearse, but it's definitely fair prices, and you get a really good environment.
So let's talk about your music. You've been rehearsing here for a little while, right?
Yeah, every now and then, definitely. I mean, I started off making music with a band at, I think it was when I was 18. So we kind of broke up because of that just happens.
It happens, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely happens.
Like when I was 17, I had like that magical idea that I have this band forever and everything's amazing.
Kind of like relationships. Like when you're 17, you're like, oh, my band's gonna stay together forever, and like I'm gonna marry my boyfriend.
Yep, exactly. I was like, we're gonna do everything together.
Yeah.
And we're gonna grow together, and it lasted, but it didn't last for very long because I didn't have a band anymore. I just started collaborating with different producers, and I would just like go around Berlin having writing sessions, and then at one point it just clicked with 2 people from Berlin. Actually, it's one songwriter and one producer, and we wrote some songs together. The past few years, actually, I've been writing a lot in different studios, and that was super fun, but I also really wanted to publish like a track
of course.
after all these years, and it's basically happening now. So my song Cry is out now. Now is finally the point where like our work gets to see the world, and I kind of feel like I'm letting go. Like sending my child into the world. It's like a really cool feeling, definitely.
You guys can check out Janine's new song Cry. It's playing in this video, or you can click the link in the description box below.
Oh, don't say
Would you say that Berlin overall is a good city for musicians?
Definitely, yeah. I think in general there's this like phenomenon that's pretty common, that people who don't come from big cities would just like all move to the bigger place. Yeah, exactly. To have a bigger community, especially with music. And that's what I hear from a lot of people who come from like smaller villages in Germany. Some people are looking for something different and they might not be able to find it in their hometown. People come here to Berlin and then they really find what they're looking for, because basically you can just get anything you'd like. You can
be a little weird.
Yeah, exactly. You can just like do anything you want. You can, if you want to be a DJ, you can be a DJ. If you want to, I don't know, be in a punk band or be a rapper or be a singer-songwriter, you can literally do anything you want. I think sometimes it can be a little hard because it's such a big city. That comes with a little bit of a con, I guess, which is that there's so many people doing competition. Like some people are quite competitive, or you might just want to get to a certain point, but people who could help you are busy with other projects. Like, you have to really find your own surroundings and learn how to do more things for yourself. I've also heard from many friends that people from all over the world, like especially from like Australia, New Zealand, the States, would either come to like London or to Berlin or like other European cities, because it's just like they all have in common that there's just a community of musicians already. So they're kind of just like growing with it.
I think it's really great that you touched on some advice that you have for other musicians in Berlin. Is there anything else that you would add to that, if maybe musicians want to come here and play a couple shows, or maybe even move here and get involved in the community?
I think what I could add is that you shouldn't compare yourself too much, because that's something that I still definitely struggle with. And it's like, I don't even think you should hide that, because I feel like people sometimes talk in the past tense when they say that, like, I've done that in the past, but like I can say that I still do this sometimes.
I'm guilty.
You see other artists and they're just doing really well, and you're happy for them, but there's just that feeling of not being enough, I guess. That you're not,
why am I not there too? Why haven't I?
Exactly. Like, I've done the same steps or blah blah blah, but you never really know what they've done. And in uni, a tutor of mine gave me a really funny and cool advice, because she said, like, every time you feel like that and you feel like you're like jealous, or you feel like not even jealous, but you're just like doubting yourself if you could ever be there as well, then you just like show that person even more like affection and tell them that it's amazing what they're doing, so that you also like kind of get rid of that unhealthy grudge. Like, women in music, I feel like people always expect that there's competition, and I feel like we're being taught so much that you have to see another woman in the business industry as a competition, that it's like super important to just get rid of that stigma, because there's so much power in there if you just like connect and you just do something,
work together, and
you support each other. There's so much more that you can get out of that.
I'm not getting over you.
I have to say a huge thank you to Janine for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This has been the first episode of the Foreign Voices series here in Berlin, Germany. Don't forget to follow Janine on social media. I'll link everything down in the description. Leave us a comment. Go tell her how amazing her new song is. It's incredible. And please subscribe, because we got new videos coming very soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
We're having too much fun and we can't film anything anymore. Oh, also, you can speak to me now if that's easy. Because the first... Nope, okay, never mind.
This is my show now. So there's many rooms that you can... Nine. Wow. 9. I'm just like, vocabulary.
Yeah. No, literally the fact that you're doing this like not in your native language. Can we just remind you all that like she speaks multiple languages?
2.
That's multiple.
Okay.
2 is multiple. Stream, cry on the internet.
No, not dare to say.
9.
9. Wait. I stared at her for like 20 seconds and then my eyes just closed.
So is there any advice that you have? I'll just go direct to camera.
Okay, I need some water.
Cut.
I'm working on my foreign